Good morning, beautiful Taurus. This is Mary Ellen. Welcome to Moonrise Cottage for all the folks who are returning viewers and subscribers. Hi, I can't wait to speak with you. So glad to have you back, and thanks so much for your love and your support and your company here, and for all the work you're doing internally and out in the world. If you're a new viewer, welcome. It's great to have you here as well. Again, my name is Mary Ellen. I am a clairvoyant person who made an agreement with Spirit at the end of last year, so I've been on YouTube since January. I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck, developed by Caitlin Matthews, to illustrate the channeled messages that come through me from Spirit for you as you develop along the pathway of your soul journey that affects not only your destiny, but the destiny of all beings here on Earth. So we've just come through the eclipse. There's a lot to talk about. A little housekeeping always has to be done, so I'll go through that rather quickly. For those of you that don't know, I'm taking a sacred pilgrimage in September for 3 weeks. I will be in Ireland. I will be meeting with people there, visiting the sacred sites, and traveling around the country for my own very deep inward journey. Those of you who are in that location or nearby and want to meet with me in person for a consultation or a reading, etc., please send me an email right away. When you scroll below the video, there's a little description box. There's a tab there that says Show More. Click on that. It opens up a huge amount of information is there about live stream that's going to start soon, about personal readings, and I don't think, I guess I have to get around to adding it. And I want to thank you, Taurus, because it was your energy this morning that gave me the strength to sort of decide, if you will, to let everybody know that I'm doing a fundraiser. And there's channeled energy coming through already. I need a new computer. My computer's dying. And as I began to prepare for doing the web streams, I discovered that my 10-year-old computer will not support that function. And at the same time, the computer started to die. So I'm saying prayers, and I'm asking the powers that be to let the computer live through these videos that I have to record before I go away. And once the eclipse energy settles a little bit and we get past the Mercury retrograde, I'm going to go figure out how to buy a new computer. So I'm in the process of manifesting one of my desires. We're going to talk about that on the live stream. So here's what I'm asking folks to make donations if you enjoy the channel and you can muster it. Please help me out. I would appreciate it. This is my full-time effort now. And I was feeling a little bit sheepish about putting that out there, and I thought, wait a minute, you're the manifester. you are providing a lot. I get into a lot of conversations with people actually about that topic. So I thought, good, let me just do that right online. So here's what's happening. I think the way to do this is to just straight up ask for your help and your donations if it's possible. And thank you so much. I'm very grateful to anything you can do to help me out, including just your presence here. If you make a donation of $35 or more, then I will automatically put you on the subscription for the webcasting. So in exchange for the donation, you will get a 12-month subscription to every live stream event, including the videos that will come from that effort. I have not yet determined if I'm going to do it on YouTube. I'm becoming aware that there are many other platforms that I could use, so I'm checking it out, and hopefully within the next month or so, maybe from Ireland if I can pull it together, I'll do my first webcast, which would be great fun. So thanks in advance, and I appreciate the beautiful strength of Taurus, which gave really literally gave me the energy, because I was doing my meditation this morning, etc., and thinking about, how do I ask this question? It feels a little uncomfortable for me. I'm a shy Virgo in a sense. And I thought, you know what? You just ask. That's what I tell everybody else. So here I am. Thanks for your beautiful strength that sort of buoyed my internal process this morning. So while I was preparing to do your video this morning, there was an enormous amount of distraction, and so that's where Spirit wants to talk about. I intended to do the video 3 hours ago, and I'm just getting to it now. And I've learned there's always a purpose for the things that unfold here while I'm doing the readings. The message this morning is about this. This is how it felt. There was all this flutter. There were distractions. There was a private reading that was scheduled. That didn't happen. There were, I think it's a couple of things having to do with the eclipse and the fact that we're in retrogrades, etc. However, when the cards came out, when I finally was able to settle in and do the shuffle and the cards came out, you'll see, look what's right over the top. So Spirit says, just look into that card. Do you see that? Look at all the movement. Look at all the change. This is the elopement of knowledge. It's really fascinating to me. The energy of this card has literally been affecting Moonrise Cottage this morning. That's the energy here. It's really fascinating to me. So Taurus, you've been with me all morning. The reading's going to finally come out. I would like to, Spirit wants me to reference last month. If you haven't seen that video about your energy and your soul aspects and your journey going into the eclipse, Spirit is urging you to go look at that video. Put this one on pause and go check it out, because the story is going to continue from there. I'm going to reference that while we go through, all right? So, last month, you were involved in a process of change and growth through a very sacred assistance. The reading came out in a very particular way that was highly unusual in order to illustrate to you fully the depth of your growth and change internally, which will then cause you to engage with the external world in a different way. The outcome card was the quest of skill. It was about a rebirth process, regestation, reintegration with yourself. The Queen of Knowledge was sitting over the top of the reading, guiding your progress and weaving all the different strands of your nature together so that you could come into the fullness of your strength. The Strength card was there, the Remember of Lore was there. There was a card about the revelation of the things that obstruct you. It was a fascinating reading. So to have this right over the top is very exciting to me. There's a story about this card. There's the sacred cauldron. There was a goddess who had a child, and she wanted to imbue the child with a great amount of knowledge in order to help that child through its life. So she made a sacred brew. She put it in the cauldron, set the cauldron on a fire in order to simmer for a year and a day. And last month, all through this year, you've been going through an incredible shamanistically led process. And it is reaching its intended culmination, especially through the eclipse. That's the phrase that's coming through from Spirit. And now it's time to move forward from there, having been reformed, reintegrated, and rewoven with yourself. So, you may have felt a lot of energy swirling around you, a lot of internal thoughts, a lot of change. This goddess basically hired a young lad to sit and mind the fire, to keep the cauldron simmering. And what happened was, the cauldron boiled over. The young lad that was sitting to mind the cauldron freaked out a little bit. He reached out to try to fix the problem, and the brew splashed on his hands. And in that moment, he, of course, because it was boiling, he stuck his fingers into his mouth. And all this knowledge came to him right in that moment, in a way that was not expected. That was not the expected outcome. So that's the message sitting over the top. The spiritual theme of this reading has to do with this as a continuation of your regestation and your shift and change and growth toward a integration is the word that's coming. So I suspect that's been coming through all morning. So, you know, when he imbibed this brew by accident, he began to shapeshift in order to try to hide from the goddess. He thought she was going to be terrifically angry, and each time he shapeshifted into a new form to run away from her, she did the same thing, and she just followed him along his pathway. And in the end of that story, he became a little kernel of wheat and dove into a pile of wheat that had been harvested and was sitting on a field. And the goddess turned into a hen and dove in after him and gobbled him up. She then gave birth to him in the form of an egg, of course, and he came out into his new life. So there's some very intense process going on that has to do with the nature of your reintegration. And you know, I'm referencing the outcome card in my mind from last month, which was the quest of skill, and it shows someone regestating. But the word that's coming through is reintegration. And now that I see this card, I understand that. This story is about the story of reintegration. When this process finished, that young lad was one of the greatest poets that lived in the Celtic times. And it was just the process he had to go through in order to become that which was intended for him, Spirit is saying. So let's look. Now that you've been reborn, having come through the eclipse, I cannot tell you. I guess I'm rambling on a little bit. I'm just going to allow it. There's so much channeled information coming through about this. And Spirit wants you to really sit with it. Think about that very deeply. Let yourself feel it. Whatever this process was for you over this year and coming into the portal and through the eclipse, this is what your experience was apparently. And that's the spiritual energy, the wave, Spirit says, on which you were carried through the eclipse and now going forward through the end of the year. A great shift and change. And look, you know, this card, this is the Strength card, okay? This is the Empowerer of will. Look at that. Okay, and you know what? There's the Lion. This is about the Lionsgate portal. And last month, in August, this card was here. The final step on your human journey, as you crossed over into the mystical realm. Please go look at that video. Okay? Using the strength that you had, you crossed over into the mystical realm for this reintegration process that was destined for you through the eclipse. And you have done it. That's pretty amazing. Coming through the Lionsgate portal. With your will integrated and intact now, you go forward. Renewed, Spirit says, reintegrated and reborn through that magical process that's been going on all year. And that's why all of this movement and shift and change. And look at that. Having come through the eclipse, you are on a new quest. There it is. Look at that. Taurus, look. That's your eclipse journey. Okay, this bottom row of cards, for those of you that don't know, this is about your human walk. Look at that. That's intensely beautiful. That gentleman is standing, Spirit saying, at the mountaintop. Okay, as a metaphor, that's what Spirit says. Humans use that image as a metaphor. This card is often used to reference something called the Akashic Records. Generally speaking, Spirit says, it's about standing before the fountain of all wisdom. Do you see the cauldron again? There it is. You've come through. It has been activated into your vision, Spirit says. Do you see? Able to see it. Able to understand the process. Souls, angels, gods and goddesses, whatever your reference point is. All that is available to us in our spiritual journey, walking as a soul here upon the earth. This is what has been revealed to you in this way. Okay? And that is why you have the Strength card sitting right in the middle. This is the aspect that you walk in this month. And I think probably I've said this, but see the rabbit? You know, in the Celtic times, there was a sacred warrior. This is a female warrior. It's a depiction, in a sense, of Boudica. And if you don't know her story, go check her out on the internet. That was a real person that lived, that raised an insurrection against the Romans, believe it or not, when they were enslaving the Celtic peoples. She would bring a hare to the battlefield, and just before the charge into battle, open the basket and let the hare jump out. And based on how it ran across the field, it was used as a divinatory tool to find out what the battle was going to be like and where the energy was, essentially. Spirit's saying, that's the story you've been in. And we've talked a lot about it. Where your energy was at the start of the year, how it has moved, how it has run across the battlefield of your own internal process as a sacred warrior, intent on developing your own soul destiny here on this earth, and that's your soul. Okay, that's what that representation means. And that's the sword of victory. It's incredible. And, oh look, you know what? I transposed those. That's interesting too. So, let's see what's here. Look. Okay, so, yeah, very clearly, the story of the eclipse energy. And having come to this place, Spirit's saying, this is how you got there. Look at that. That's a major arcana card. That is the imaginer of harmony. See how deep that being's going? Piscean energy, riding that fish diving deep into the ocean of spiritual awareness, self-awareness, along with spiritual knowledge. All right? This journey continues for you through the month of September, and again, Spirit's saying through the end of the year. That's the full moon. So, this is about the lunar eclipse energy that's still affecting you, the Lionsgate portal that opened on the 8th of August with the full moon eclipse. That sacred vessel, you can't tell by this picture, but it has golden oars. It's meant to carry you wherever you'd like to go. Please make sure you're using the cycles of the moon going forward through the end of the year. Spirit's saying, in a sense, forever. Just raise your awareness. On the full moon, it's a point of completion and illumination. Your intuition and your energy, your ability for astral travel and those kinds of things, dreams, very deep. this is going to continue going forward, especially this month, with this energy now, in a very high position, so to speak, presence, Spirit's saying, here in the earth. Okay? Amazing. And, aligned with this card, obviously, this is trying to illustrate the kind of vision that you have when you step into this ability that was given to you by virtue of the eclipse. And look at that. Another major arcana card. So there are 3 major arcana cards. This one, right in the center, aligned with the strength card in the traditional tarot, that's you, your energy. And this journey, your human walk, very highly activated, an intense amount of energy and ability, Spirit says. Spirit would like you to settle into this notion and awareness of yourself with your strength now integrated through the work of the Queen of Knowledge, who was here with you last month, weaving the different parts of your nature together. That, look at that. The balancer. Do you see how that being looks like they've been split open and sewn back together? Isn't that fascinating, given the way your readings for the last couple of months? Spirit says the last 6 months. That's the process that you've been on as you've been walking on the earth, engaged in this mystical process. And going forward from here, you, in this state of balance, come into the strength that was meant for you in order to reach your soul destiny in this lifetime. The beings that were here for this incredible, once in 100-year event, we are all here for the purpose of being incarnate souls to experience the opening of those portals in the month of August. So that, I'm understanding now, of course, with hindsight. I understand. I look back at these readings over the last few months from this vantage point. That's why Spirit is saying, go look. Because now it's really going to blow your mind. It's been a beautiful process no matter what. But now, in light of this, there will be some understanding that will be able to fill your being. That's what this is about. Spirit says, take the moment and go for it. Understand that idea from last month about weaving yourself, the different parts of you together, so there's balance in the male, female, yin-yang aspects of your strength. In order to be able to imagine harmony in your life through letting go of battle the way you used to do it. Spirit says you won't be able to understand this until you see at least last month's reading, so do check it out. And look, all right, this is the bridge card that takes you from your human journey across to your spiritual challenges. Actually, Spirit's correcting me. It's not challenges. It's the reflection of this and the implication in your spirit journey. All right, so this card was here last month. That's the renewer of growth. Okay, so that was up here on the spirit realm, indicating your movement into the eclipse. Okay, and now, look at that. Closer to your human walk, it is now the bridge that is bringing you across to the spirit realm while you journey through your human existence this month. So let's see what this is. Wow, Taurus. Okay, that was the outcome card for last month. Look at this. This is blowing my mind now. Look. You're still going really deep. You see how the Spirit wants me to tell you again about these animal spirit walkers? That's the phrase that's coming through. Be very aware of the natural world around you this month, because you are so deep. Spirit's telling me you have the ability to communicate directly with these beings. If you see any of these beings in your realm, crow, eagle, hawk, owl, elk, deers, those kind, know that that's a spiritual message coming through to you. And if you have a chance in those moments, open yourself in this way, Spirit says, and understand that some message is coming through. Because, see how this sits on the table? When these readings come out, that's the other thing Spirit's been sort of asking me to tell people. Make sure you look at the lines as they develop in both directions. And sometimes even this way. Alright? If you look, last month we were talking about the development of your strength. And look, here's the balancer. There's the strength card. And again, continuing to quest. Now on this first card on the spirit journey you're having, last month that card was here. It was the outcome. I'm not surprised to see it here in this way, but it is kind of blowing my mind all at the same time. So that's gorgeous. Let's see what's here. Continuing to regestate. Wow. All right. So, the Keeper of Harmony has been in your prior readings as well. This is another major arcana card. So, this is a major arcana, this is a major arcana, and this is a major arcana. Pay close attention to your intuition and your dreams. It is the place that is supporting your strength this month. That which you can imagine and balance, continuing to balance inside of yourself as you come through the continuation of your reintegration and regestation. You see how that's here on the table twice? It's very intense. The process continues. It is deepening. Right into the center of your spirit being. That's the channeled phrase that's coming through. And look, that's that is the final major arcana card in this deck. And you know what, Taurus? I'm going to turn the camera around. I don't know if this will be successful. There is a buck in the meadow right now. And that is one of the spirit animal cards. Let's see if we can get it to happen. Can you see that? I'm going to try to scroll in on it. He just walked into the meadow while I was doing the reading. Check it out. Isn't that amazing? Wow. A young buck. A yearling, I think. Incarnated, Spirit says, having come through. And here comes, there's another one that's off camera, you can't see it. So, I'm just going to keep talking about this reading for a moment while you look into the meadow. Clearly coming into your strength. And this card that's about the quest of skill. I'm doing this, I can hardly reach the camera. Alright, so, where is it? It's down in the bottom. Sorry about this silliness. You see that buck in this illustration? It might be too close. There. Okay. Look that up. Go online. Look at the animal medicine card. It's about stamina for a long journey. And coming into your strength and your ability to go the distance. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So, the Perfecter of Energy. It's the World card in the traditional tarot. And through this year, because Spirit is talking to me about the end of the year, through this year, you will continue to perfect your energy along this journey that you've been on in order to solidify and come into the final phase of this process for yourself. the perfecter of energy is here to remind you, to remind me, that this process of reintegration and rebirth takes a full year, coming through 4 seasons, in order to reach your internal set point, so that you can do the work that you incarnated to achieve as a spirit actor in the world that we are in, with your energy having been changed and perfected and deepened through this journey that you've been on. So there it is. That's the card I was talking about. That's the perfecter of energy. Look at that. Okay? Major Arcana. The final card in this amazing journey on the spirit level this month, that begins with the quest of skill, continuing on to the keeper of harmony. That's the quest you're on. And it is that seeking after harmony that perfects your energy. That is the pathway you follow as a spirit being. Do you see the breastplate? That's about 4 seasons. And look at the activation. And the triple spiral. Birth, death, birth, life cycle. And we've been talking about that all year, about the shift and change. The shamanistic journey that you've been on, loved and supported by the universe, by spirit, in all of these ways. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Let me see if I can shift the camera a little bit and scroll in on this for you, because I want you to be able to see it really well. Let me give it a try. I'm going to have to keep shifting the camera as it scrolls in. Look at that. That's the spirit line of your journey. Continuing the quest of skill in order to become the keeper of harmony in your own life. Spirit's, again, nudging me to ask you to go look at last month's reading at minimum in order to perfect your energy. Because there is a job, Spirit's saying a mission, for you here on this planet. And in 2017, you know, this year of great shift and change and evolution, that's the word that's coming through, actually. Evolutionary change. And the word emerging is coming as well. So the process that we've all been in, Taurus, is the emergence of our energy, our true selves, in these ways. Here's the outcome card. Look at that. Spirit says, look. Just look at that by itself. That is the augury of skill. Everything I've been talking about, Spirit says, everything Spirit's been saying to you over the course of the year, that's a prophecy. A new starting point, numeral 1. Do you see the blue trousers? This young warrior has been completely transformed. That is your destiny, Taurus. Look at the strength and the intention and the ability to utilize your strength because you have shifted and changed and reintegrated with yourself. Look at that. Do you see the nakedness at the chest, the will center, the heart chakra? And from there, that's the message that came through. If you haven't seen the eclipse reading, look at that too. The message that came through is we are going to be able to communicate with each other and to affect change, utilizing the energy at our heart center. And Spirit saying for you, because you're a Taurus, it's about your will center, joining together. And from that place, sending out your intentions, your desires, and being an actor in the world in order to bring the change that the eclipse promises. Taurus, this is astounding. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to edit this video a little bit. Right now it's a little wonky because of all the things that happened, but I'm thanking Spirit. And I'm going to pick from the bag of runes. This is amazing. Just truly amazing. And you know what? Spirit's telling me, if you're working on manifesting something, let me know and we'll do it together, okay? I'm starting to think maybe that's the first live stream that's going to come out, because the topic keeps coming up and now it's hitting home where I live, Spirit says. So maybe we're meant to be doing it together because of this. You know, that's what it's all about. How do we manifest the world we want deep down, deep inside of ourselves? Right? Look at, I mean, wow. Yeah, and there's a lot of emotion coming. That's the other thing that I'm not going to do it at length right now, but we're going to be speaking about the power that comes through our heart chakras when we feel our emotions. And the reason we're being restringed and realigned is so that the heart chakra energy will be felt and used like this, okay? And Spirit says right now, that's the effect that anger has on us. And we are meant to regestate. You know, think about the power of your anger. Oh, gosh. I'm thinking about, Spirit's telling me now again about the cards from last month. And there was a lot of that in the reading. So if you think about the power of your anger and how much energy is there, usually underneath it there's some fear and sadness. And so it's time to realign, restring our vibrational set point so that our heart chakra energy has the same power that we feel currently coming through our anger. Wow, Taurus, that's astounding. And you know, I thank you once again because it is your energy that caused that notion to come through the channeled energy and to the surface for me. It's been formulating inside of me. And I haven't been able to put it into words yet, so thank you. All right, let's see what the runes have to say. You know, Taurus, you're awesome. I'm a Virgo, and I get along really well with the Taurus people. We feel each other, you know. So, I just... This journey that you have affects me as an earth sign. It's just so inspiring. All right, give me a moment to focus. Any other message for Taurus? To help on their journey. Spirit says this one. What is that? Look at that. Okay. In case you want to look it up for yourself. All right, look at that. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. I always read, from those that are new, I read right from the book. That is the rune of strength. Spirit says, actually, you know what? Spirit's asking me to do this. Just to separate this out a little bit so it's really clear. Look into this line. The renewer of devotion. Where your strength is devoted. How the journey has been that you've come into yourself. Emerging in this way. Into this new place of being. That's incredible. All right, let's see. Whew. Wow. All right. So, I'm going to show the camera so you can see. Look at that. Strength, manhood, womanhood. The wild ox. Okay. So, Spirit's telling me that's what all the chatter's been about that's coming through me, having to do with yin and yang and the blending of male and female energy inside your being, which was the story last month in particular. So this is the rune of terminations and new beginnings. Drawing this rune indicates that the life you have been living has outgrown its form. And you know, again, there's an enormous amount of emotion rising. My heart chakra's opening, it is swelling. And my human reaction to that is I start feeling you know, a little bit choked up at the throat chakra, like when you're about to cry. And Spirit's telling me it is from that place. That is the energy. That is when we will know that we have this capacity. That is when it activates itself. I guess we're going to be talking about that a lot going forward. So thank you for leading the way. Okay, so the rune of terminations and new beginnings indicates that life, as you've been living it, has outgrown its form. That form must die so that new energy can be released in a new form. This is a rune of passage, and as such, part of the cycle of initiation. Positive growth and change, however, may involve a descent into darkness as part of the cycle of perpetual renewal. As in nature, this progression, consists of 5 aspects: death, decay, fertilization, gestation, and rebirth. Events occurring now may well prompt you to undergo a death within yourself. Since self-change is never coerced, we are always free to resist. Remain mindful that the new life is always greater than the old. Prepare then for opportunity disguised as loss. It could involve the loss of someone or something to which you have an intense emotional bond. And Spirit's saying it's our anger, and through which you have been living a part of your life. A part that must now be retrieved so that you can live it out for yourself. Spirit saying your real self, in this way, the perfection of your energy and the keeper of harmony. That's what this is about. In some way, that bond to the old is being severed. A relationship radically changed. A way of life coming to an end. Seek among the ashes of that old life and discover a new perspective and a new strength. Wow, this is really blowing my mind, Taurus. The ancient symbol for this rune of strength was the wild ox. When the wild ox was domesticated, an immensely difficult task, it could transport heavy loads. Learn to adapt yourself to the demands of this creative time. Firm principles attached to this rune. At the same time, humility is called for, since in order to rule, you must learn how to serve. Pulling this rune puts you on notice that your soul and the universe support this new growth. That's just amazing. Taurus, thank you so much. Be patient with my editing. I'm not an expert. I'm going to try to shrink this video down and get the most important parts in, but Spirit wants me to leave you with this. I'm practicing my camera skills this month. Alright, let's see if I can do it. Let's see. There we go. Have a wonderful month. Please tell me about your journey. I'm eager to hear about it. Put some messages on the comments below the video. I'm sending you my love and my thanks and my gratitude and my accompaniment and my support. Let's manifest the world we want. Clearly, we have the capacity to do it. Thank you, Taurus. I'll see you next month.